I was recently asked in an accountability group that I run whether we should be writing down our goals or not. And I thought, oh, this is a nice opportunity to not just share my own personal experience and perspective, but to really dig into what does the research say about this, and also what does neuroscience say about why. And so that's what I'm going to be sharing in this video today. So we're going to start with working memory and really thinking about you can only hold so much information in your working memory. So when you write your goals down, it's freeing up space for other thoughts, and they don't have to compete with other thoughts, distractions, stressors. It really is just relieving to have them written down somewhere so you're not feeling like you have to keep them in your working memory. The second point that I wanted to talk about is that it can actually be counterproductive if we have goals in our mind, but we're not writing them down and we're not working towards them. It can evoke some negative thought patterns. So if we're having recurring thoughts about a goal that we're not actively working towards, we might start associating negative thoughts with ourselves, with our ability to move towards that goal, with who we are and what's possible for us, all sorts of things. And so it can be really helpful, even if you're not going to work towards that goal right now, is just to write it down to signal to your brain, okay, I wrote it down, I'm going to work towards it in the future, but right now isn't the time. And just having that written down and out of your head can really help prevent it from continuing to nag at you. And then, so let's talk about some of the research. So various studies have actually found positive correlations between writing your goals down, developing specific plans to work towards them, and self-monitoring. Those have all been positively correlated with goal attainment or more success towards that. And so the research does definitely support writing down your goals. And so I wanted to look at some of the neuroscience behind why is that. And it's really interesting. So what's happening when you're just thinking about stuff in your brain versus when you're actually engaged in that motor task of writing it down is very different. And so when we engage in that task of writing down our goal, it's activating these different parts of our brain. So we're engaging the prefrontal planning regions. We're strengthening memory encoding in the hippocampus, so we're more likely to remember them. It's activating reward systems for motivation, so that's making us want to keep coming back and working towards them. So it's actually like we start to not only signal there's some sort of a reward for actually achieving the goal, that anticipation of achieving the goal can signal that dopamine response. And the other thing that's happening when we're writing them down is it's engaging the anterior cingulate cortex, or ACC, which is something that's responsible for detecting errors and for monitoring our own performance, so like self-monitoring and adaptive behavior. And so there's a lot of different benefits from a neuroscience perspective of actually writing your goals down versus just keeping them in your head and thinking about them, in terms of what brain regions are being activated and what influence that has over us actually taking action to get closer to our goals. And then the last thing I want to talk about is something that happens when we review our goals daily. So when you have them written down, but maybe you're not reviewing them, you might not be tapping into all of the benefits that could help you move closer towards them. And so reviewing your goals daily is really programming something called your reticular activating system to pay attention to anything in your environment that's related to those goals. And this is really powerful because you start noticing books and podcasts and information and opportunities that your brain wouldn't have been filtering for otherwise. So when you're reviewing them daily, you're really priming your brain to keep looking for those opportunities in your environment throughout your day. Whereas if you didn't have them written down or you weren't reviewing them regularly, you might not be tapping into the power of those different regions of your brain that can be helping you move towards those goals more consistently. And so something that I want to share with you that I've developed is a daily goal review board. And so I've been really thoughtful about what information I actually include on here for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm very busy and I don't have much time, so I wanted to keep it to the essentials, and it takes me less than 10 minutes a day to review that. But I also wanted to be tapping into the research and what has been shown to be helpful or effective. And so a lot of that information that I've put on there is very purposeful and thoughtful. And so I was asked last week in that group if I would share this system with everyone else. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to host a workshop on Thursday, October 30th. And I'm going to walk through my exact system, the reasons why I have different information incorporated on there. And I'm also going to give the opportunity for those attending the workshop to actually work through some of the pieces so that they can leave with a really clear understanding of what information they want on their daily goal review system and be ready to put that into place so that they can end this year strong and head into 2026 with a lot of focus and tapping into a lot of those benefits that we talked about in this video that come from having your goals down in writing and reviewing them daily. And so if that's something you're interested in, I will link to it down in the description so you can get signed up for that workshop and develop one of these for yourself. If you're not already, click subscribe so you see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.